Today we will talk about the most common mistakes to avoid when it comes to the writing section of the IELTS exam. Now, the writing section in the IELTS is one of the most challenging one for many candidates. So if it's you, then here are some common mistakes that you can avoid and improve your score. So number one is poor time management. Now this is the bane of many candidates. So you have to teach yourself to allocate your time wisely. Now task 1 is 20 minutes and task 2 is 40 minutes. But I would suggest that you try and finish your task 1 in 15 and task 2 in 35. That leaves around 10 minutes for you to edit, to go over, just to revise everything that you've written. And to be able to do that, you have to make sure that when you're preparing for it, you practice under timed conditions. Now next comes misunderstanding the questions. This too is a very common error that causes bad scores. You need to read the question to understand that what is expected of you before you start writing. So you read the question, reread the question a few times to completely understand. Look at the key points, the terminology, what is important, what stands out before you can start writing. Now, third is grammar and spelling. Now, these can be called something as silly mistakes. Now, a lot of people who have otherwise great scores often score badly in this section because of bad grammar and bad spelling. So, go over your grammatical concepts, go over your vocabulary, focus on your spellings to avoid getting marks deducted here. And then is the insufficient task response. So for a question, if you are asked your opinion and your reasons behind it, you have to ensure that you answer both. What do you think of it and why do you think so? If you answer both, then you will get a higher score. If you only do either one of the two, for whatever reason, then of course your scores are going to be lower. And last but not the least is the lack of cohesion and coherence in your writing. Now this generally happens because there is lack of writing practice. So if your thoughts are all over the place and you've not really paid attention on how to write, this is something that is going to be a problem. So your thoughts have to flow logically. Your essay, your writing has to flow logically from one idea to the other seamlessly, with each paragraph using one idea expanded in 2 or 3 sentences, and you have to be able to connect them well. So when it comes to one actionable tip that you can use to do well in the writing section of the IELTS exam, what I would suggest is when you write an essay, make sure that you get corrected by your teacher, your coach, your mentor, whoever it is, and then you rewrite it at least 2 to 3 times. Now what it does is, instead of moving on to the next topic, which will teach you nothing, this, when you rewrite it, you have a chance of correcting your mistakes and, more importantly, understanding and being aware of your mistakes, because you can start correcting them only when you're aware of them. So you become aware of your mistakes, you correct them. You become aware of your more of your mistakes, and then you correct yourself again. And that will lead to an essay which is going to be great. So make sure that you write an essay, get it corrected, get feedback, and then rewrite it at least a few times depending on what your scores are and where you want to go. So that's it for today. If you use these tips and they are helpful to you, do let me know.